Good evening. What's good, everyone? Welcome to number 36, episode 36 of the Swoosh Shoes podcast. You know, the crew is here. Myself, Eric, aka 42 and 31. We're going to finish the fifth seed. We got Ernest, aka Lakers will make the playoffs as a sixth seed. Armani, aka paid Austin Reeves,
Pay that
50
man.
million, 50
Pay
million,
that
and
man.
Josh. And we got Josh in there, aka fan. Just fan.
Now ladies and gentlemen, he's a Nets fan and a Pelican fan. We're going to put that on wax so that the world can know. He is trying to, denounce and abandon the fact that he was on the Pelican bandwagon when they were the 2 seed in, November.
Whoa. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna push that false narrative. I was a Pelican supporter last year when they was in the wasn't they playing in the play-in?
Mhm.
Feel me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You feel me? So it wasn't just like when they was the first seed. That was crazy. That's crazy right there.
Okay. But since then it's been very, very quiet.
I'm just a supporter.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I don't got nothing Pelicans.
And
Never
that's
been to
and
New
that's support.
Orleans. I don't like NBA YoungBoy. I'm good.
There's a parade in my city. Yeah.
You gotta say like Skip. Yeah.
But that support has run dry. But let's get into it. A lot of things have been happening. Obviously, we're in the thick of the playoff race and the playoff push to play in and injuries and all this crazy stuff. But before we get into that, obviously, Ja Morant, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, was on social media, flashing a gun while partying, seemingly at a strip club, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously that caught a lot of backlash, considering the type of representation that he holds. Being the face of the Grizzlies, and it's definitely not a good thing. He made a stupid mistake to do that. But all in all, since then it's been a vitriol of just media around Ja and the whole situation, and he's going through some personal stuff. Went to some counseling and therapy. Josh stopped laughing about the stress levels he said that he's going through. And then today he makes his debut, coming back off the bench to ease his way back in. I guess to use the Rockets. And give me you guys' take on the whole Ja Morant situation. At least your opinion on what has transpired thus far.
I'll start off. So before the show I said that I had like two sides of the spectrum of my perspective of what's going on with this situation. So for the first one, it actually took me some time to understand this route, but it even sucks that I'm saying this, but out of all people, Paul Pierce, he brought up a really valid point when he I think he got stabbed. He got stabbed early in his career, and he made it a point that obviously to carry that weapon to protect yourself. You don't know who's gunning for you. You don't know who's gunning for your family. So that is just something to kind of keep in mind. When I thought about this situation. And then as far as like the counseling and stuff like that, like it honestly could be like a really what's the word, like a mindset thing. Back to what I was saying, like just carrying a weapon around, just always feeling the need to protect yourself. And just coming where he came from, like the dirty South. Um, we don't know like what he experienced as a child. We think everything is all good because you play in the league, get paid to play. One of the best players in the league. Definitely one of the poster boys of the NBA. In this game today. So like you always feel like somebody's always gunning for you. Um, and then the second way that I feel about it, I just think it was well. Continue on with the first way. I think everything else that came after like him being in the strip club. So like there was a camera footage of him in the strip club with like money around. Like I think at the we all laugh and joke, but I think it was just kind of like trying to really put him in a bad light. Like, bro, like when you're in the strip club, you're supposed to have fun. We all go to the strip club and do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I think it was just trying to kind of like point the finger, like make this guy out to be the villain and stuff like that. The other thing I was gonna say, I just think it was kind of like careless in a sense because I just lost to Denver, and you at the strip club. I get it, leisure and stuff like that. However you cope, however you relax, rest and recovery, and then got the strap, got the blicky on camera, and it's just like, yo, like I didn't watch it live in real time. I just heard about it after, and I'm just like, yo, like, and then on top of that, you got a lot of kids that look up to Ja Morant, like they hitting the gritty. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people hit the gritty because of him, because of Ja Morant, and then also like it's a bad look because um, he just came out with a commercial with Powerade, just signed an endorsement deal with Powerade, and then also he got a signature Nike shoe coming out. So people like the Kyrie fans, right? They're really upset because they're like, "Yo, how you drop Kyrie for this situation that he's going through?" And then John Morant is kind of just getting a slap on the wrist. So it's like it kind of like a double standard. It's like where's that same media attention? Where's that same energy for Ja Morant when it was for Kyrie? So I just think it was kind of like a careless move because now like you're an investment, you're a poster boy. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron was to do something like that, they're throwing the book at LeBron. Not saying that they treated the Ja Morant situation any differently, but it was just like kind of a dumb move. Like what you doing, man? Like it, I don't know. And then Pat Bev brought up something. Um, said like I think he said like hip hop was like a big part, and that made him react this way or whatever. And from my personal experience, yeah, I probably hold handguns in the mirror and stuff like that, but not bold enough to have the blicky on live on IG live where millions and millions of people's watching you, and then you got to ask yourself, like, is this the person like my child wants to grow up and be? But then again, like I'm not saying there's no big deal, but then we've been around other bad influences in our life, so like, yeah, like,
No, I understand. And like for me, I just think it's whether he's dealing with something personal or not. Like you, he also has to understand the position he is in.
exactly.
Um, and people have different coping mechanisms on how to deal with stress,
Hmm.
anxiety. From coming from a place we come from, it's
Josh, why you laughing, son?
because Josh knows where I'm going. Like coming from a place that we come from, it's almost like, all right, man, like all right, like, are you stretching it? Like, and it's like, but I also understand, and you're in the shirt club flashing a gun. Again, that's very dumb of you to do. Like
Hmm.
it's a mistake. The kid is young, right, and very impressionable at that, I'm sure. And he's surrounded by a certain lifestyle that he probably you know
Hmm.
admires, or I wouldn't say aspire to, but like he probably admires it. Like he's around that stuff. Um,
And it's Memphis out of all places.
yeah, like so,
The
like
dirty South.
the influence for sure, definitely.
Shout out to 36 Mouth.
the influence for sure definitely takes a toll on that. But also, I just think, look, the kid he's still growing as a man, and they make mistakes, man. Like, and again, whether he felt he needed to go to Florida for therapy and to do the breathing thing, and that's
I think that was just too much. It was just way too much,
I think personally, I think like he didn't have to like. One, it's no one's business, right? And because now it becomes like public consumption for judgment, and you got guys like Josh and myself that question like, all right, man, like this, it's a little much.
So let me ask you my next question. I didn't get to sit through the entire interview with Jalen Rose, but what do you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest. We didn't have to sit this man down like he was like Oprah.
Right.
No, they did it like R. Kelly when they said that was R. Kelly, bro.
Like, yo, damn. Like,
right.
The kid made a mistake, y'all. And yes, it's dangerous. It is irresponsible. But also, like, I'm sure, like, it wasn't like all these people around him when he had the gun. I'm sure it was a private setting. He had a lot of money. The people around him knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not trying to sound insensitive to the fact, but I'm also like, this is the reality. Let's look at the reality of it. Like you know what I mean? Like he was in a vibe, and at the end of the day, though, he was wrong and responsible. It was a dumb mistake. He put it on live. I tell you this, and I'm gonna leave it like this. If it wasn't on live, no one would ever talk about it. There'd be no therapy session.
We wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Right. There'd be no like I gotta deal with anxiety. It would be none of that, in my opinion. Because like maybe this has been going on, but he got caught. So it is unfortunate, and again, it's dumb. You shouldn't make a decision.
I think the crazy thing, and then Josh, I'm gonna let you go. I think the crazy thing that what I end up seeing on Twitter was that, like, I think right before the Denver Nuggets game, Steven Adams, excuse me, he had a private team meeting, and just like going over, just like
chill out because you was wilding.
Yeah, just with everything that's going on, the Dylan Brooks situation and stuff like that, attacking random dudes in the media and stuff like that, and then for that to happen right after, it was just like, yo.
And remember, T-Mac had said this a year ago. Like, what he was like, yo, that team needs like some vets or a vet in there that could be like, yo, slow it down. Y'all doing too much.
And the only vet is Steven Adams, and he's 29 years old.
Right. Yeah. And no disrespect to Steven Adams, but Steven Adams also isn't from America. So like that understanding of what that culture is and like coming from that same background, So, but Josh, the floor is yours. I know you want to get some stuff off.
It's just saying real quick. It's just like Ja Morant pulled a card. When you get in trouble, and then you just say something just to make it seem like it's bigger than what it is. Like you get caught by your mom one time, be like, oh man, but this whole situation just got me stressed. Like, bro, you going like this? What's this got to do with stress, bro? You're showing a gun has nothing to do with stress. Just say it was a dumb mistake, admit it, and that's it. We moving on from that. Yeah. And then the strip club, the guy who owns the strip club is dumb too. He lost a millionaire customer releasing those pictures.
Yeah,
like, bro,
absolutely. He was doing that for clout, for sure.
Yeah. So that's my only thing. That's why I'm laughing, because it's like, yo, Ja, like, you don't need no counseling. You might be going through stress, but you showing a gun has none with doing with stress. If we was talking about alcohol, I could get that. If we was talking about drugs, if you was doing anything else, I could get that. But you showing a gun, what does that have to do with stress? I'm stressed. I'm gonna show this right now. Like, what? Come on, bro. What are you talking about, bro? You
That
just
means
showed off. You
that
just wanted to
means
show off.
don't play with me. That's what that means.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Remember he tweeted, you can fill them hollows for free,
Oh,
but
come on, man. Like, we know
Wait.
you heavily influenced because your old IG just got leaked.
Yeah, I
You're
want to make
heavily
that.
influenced by hip hop. You got Chief Keef quotes. You got all this. We get it. Just don't lie. I know
yeah,
that lie from a mile away. Once I heard, yo, oh man, like I was so stressed. That's why I did it. I'm like, that makes no sense.
yeah.
It's all right though. It's
Oh
all right.
man.
You be all right. Because the NBA clearly wants to give him that. They want him to be the poster boy, like Armani said.
Mhm.
People clearly
Mhm.
giving him second chances over second chance, and we don't see that in our community a lot.
Mhm.
Right, but also,
You know what I'm saying?
like we should though, like we should get those second chances. Like
Yeah.
it's the land of
So that,
opportunity.
I don't mind
I
it.
agree.
Like he did something stupid, but bro, just admit that you did something stupid. Don't blame it on
Yeah,
stress.
yeah, yeah. Like
Mhm.
don't admit that's your gun. Don't do that. But like admit you
Oh yeah,
admit.
because that would have been 50 games.
Yeah.
One last lie.
Yeah.
Because that 50 games would have been hefty.
That ain't mine.
Yeah. So it's just again, very unfortunate situation. I think it was very stupid of him to one play with a gun like that, and then two go on live with it, and not understanding and reading the room of like where you're at in your career, because clearly, it can get taken away just as fast. You know what I'm saying? Well, faster than how you got it. So it's just I just wish that he just. I hope he understands it. I think he does, because man, it was, and I tweeted this on Saturday morning when I saw the video. I was like, man, this is unfortunate, and I hope he's ready for the onslaught of media coverage he's going to get, because it's going to be insane and quite ridiculous. Like, we know Skip Bayless is a terrible sports journalist at this point in his career right now, and like, because like he quotes a rap lyric, like, you know what I mean, like now every little thing is going to be attached to that, and it's and that's the unfortunate part. And I just hope Ja learns from this and gets to a point where it's like, yo, you don't need to do that, bro. Like, you really don't.
Mhm.
You really don't have to. You don't have no one to impress. You don't, like, And again, I'm not gonna sit here and hop on his dad and talk about his parents. Like that. That's a reach too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get where people are coming from, but it's like, stay in your lane. Like, you're not his parent. But it's just it's at the end of the day, it's unfortunate. And I hope he learns from this mistake.
They say you a gangster, but you never pop none.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh,
Eric, you
man.
got any light you want to shed on this, or you want to go on to the next subject? Because I know you're just
Man,
like, yo,
homie.
man, I'm
In
good.
high school, you was the
Listen.
man, homie.
So I was thinking about Adam Silver and David Stern, and like the suspensions and the way it got dealt with, the whole situation. I was just thinking of this whole situation, Ja Morant. Like, if David Stern was still the commissioner, he would have got a hefty fine and a suspension, because knowing David Stern,
Mhm.
he made sure that you put the shield before like the NFL. Like, the shield goes before the players. So now, like, to me, it's like, I I get it with Adam Silver, the way they treat the suspension with John Moran, all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, he's lucky that it could have gone the other way with this whole thing, because you're dealing with a business entity in the NBA, $1 billion corporation. They are not trying; they're trying to clean it up ASAP. Ever since the whole Malice at the Palace, they want to make sure that the NBA image is cleaned up, soup to nuts, no pun intended. So they're trying. The NBA is like really trying to be that shield like the NFL. So I hope he learns his lesson, because the next time it's not going to be that lenient if he pulls this stuff off
Oh,
again.
he does
You know
this
what I'm saying?
again. He may be
Yeah.
suspended for like a season.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Because he lucky that if the investigation found out that if he carried a gun on the team's plane, that was 50 games automatically, and it would have been
Mhm.
done there for this season and parts of next year. So
Yeah.
he's lucky that didn't happen. But at the same time, I hope that he learns his lesson and like you could like be the ambassador of the next generation of the young NBA players coming up, and just make sure that you are the target, but at the same time, you got to be cognizant of what you represent, not only for yourself but your peers and the league and the players around you and who you surround yourself with, and just make sure that you stay on track on what you need to do. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally, totally agree. Like to your point, like a lot of the next generation, as I was saying, like they look up to him, and you know, you don't want to put Ja like in a bad light, especially for the younger generation, people who look up to this guy, people who are like just heavily invested. The NBA's invested in him. He's an investment to Nike, Powerade, all these different companies. Like I think that's just a bad look, and hope that he learns from the situation.
Yeah, and I think he will. I think he will. Now, I mean, Ja Morant is back on the court. Right now, the Memphis Grizzlies are up by 12. Oh, excuse me, actually up by 8 now. Going into the halftime against the Houston Rockets. I do anticipate Memphis winning that game very easily. Ja Morant has played 10 minutes, scored 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 for 7 from the field. So, I think, by the next game he'll be starting, and that'll be that.
Mhm.
Next, the most interesting part of the NBA right now, playoff push. It's a lot of crap going on, a lot of things happening, man, left and right. Quick shout out to Paul George. Nasty injury last night against the Thunder. Did come back as a hyperextension, so thank God it wasn't as serious
It
as
looked it looked really bad.
Mhm.
it looked really bad. It looked really bad. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
um, never want to wish any injury on any player. As much as I despise the Clipper franchise, we don't want to see stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, going to the playoff push. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Eric, right now the Knicks are sitting in fifth. Um, and right now they're in a dogfight against the Miami Heat. They're down 4 points in the third quarter to Miami Heat, and you guys need to win this game to stem off the tanking, not so tanking Brooklyn Nets, and sitting at 6. So we
Mhm.
got
If we lose,
Milwaukee.
if Miami wins, I think they
If
have to.
Miami wins, Miami is will be 30, will be 40 and 34. The Nets will then drop to the 7th seed in the play-in, which is what you want.
Mhm.
Oh, playing,
Um,
baby.
Wait, who do you want to play in the play-in?
Oh, whoever could beat us.
Oh my
He wants that
God, bro!
lottery. He wants that lottery.
I just
Oh
want a
my
lot,
God!
bro. I just want a lottery play. That's it, man. That's it. My fault, Eric. My
no,
fault.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
No, you're good. You're
Um,
good.
so far we have the Milwaukee Bucks who have clinched a playoff spot, the Boston Celtics who also clinched a playoff spot, and the Philadelphia 76ers who also clinched a playoff spot. Um, it's looking like it's going to be. I mean, Milwaukee and Boston is still fighting for one. I think the Sixers will wind up staying at 3, and then it looks like the Cavs will stick at 4. That's what it's seeming like. So I think I think 3 and 4 are locks. 1 and 2 could be either Milwaukee or Boston, and then you have the Knicks and Nets fighting for 5 and 6. So, Eric, you're in the Eastern Conference
Mhm.
with your beloved New York Knicks. Where do you think your team ends up, and how do you think the rest of the East fares out from 1 to 10 as far as playing as well? Because Chicago is still fighting to stay in the 10th spot, which I think they do stay, considering Indiana, at 11.
So I think the Sixers gonna finish second. Um, they had a 9 game
Second?
win streak. Yeah, they had an 8 game win streak before it got snapped against the Bulls on Tuesday night. The Celtics, they have not been playing well since trade deadline, so they've been going like 8-7 the last 15 games. And there's been some rumblings coming out of the Celtics camp with Jalen Brown. So you might want to
Yeah.
keep an eye on that because
Well,
he said some real
sidebar.
interesting things. yesterday.
So, sidebar. You know, I love the demise of that slime green team up in the north that no one cares about. You know, Jaylen Brown, if you're listening, brother, may peace be upon you. I hope you leave that putrid franchise, and I hope that you either like go to to the Hawks or even better because they tried to trade you multiple occasions. How about you stick it to them and wear purple and gold? It just makes sense. You played in the state of California
How did I know
in
that?
college. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. And we will appreciate you here. But needless to say, I hope the Celtic franchise does not prosper. I hope that 17 championships are where they stay, and we just hope constant demise for that franchise because it's the Celtics.
I think we
And
could all agree with that here, man. That's a united
That's a
answer.
fact. That's
There's
a
some.
fact.
Like, I don't go lie.
and I
That's a
also
fact.
hope if it's not Jaylen Brown coming to LA, we know who else loves this guy that's behind me. His idol, my idol, Armani's idol. The Bean, the late greatest of all time, Kobe Bryant, in my opinion. We know, Jason Ten, you wear that armband on your arm, and we know, and you know that I know that some people in the organization do not like that. So
His obsession is a little weird.
Mhm.
it's not a little weird.
You know what's funny? Wait, real quick. So when he won the All-Star Game MVP, they showed a picture of Vanessa. And they said, "Oh God, Kobe's phone is going off."
There's a his phone is vibrating in the other room. I'm like,
Listen, chill. Chill. Calls have been made. You
But he
understand?
did it to him. He did it to himself. Talking about, I was texting during the finals, like, bro, what?
But listen, it's we'll talk in 2025, but 2 contracts are up on our books by then. You never know. But yeah, back to the playoff push in the Eastern Conference, Eric.
So I like the Bucks staying at 1. They've been consistent all year long, and they're starting to get healthy. Chris Middleton's coming back. Giannis, they're on that. They're on track to finish for that 1 seed. For the 2-3, I like the Sixers to finish second, and the Celtics to finish third. I just think that the way that the Sixers have been playing lately, and especially with Joel Embiid averaging 30 these last, and I think he's going to be the lock to win MVP finally. He's just been consistent all year long, especially these last 15, 20 games. So averaging over 30 a game. So
you know what's funny? Like in the beginning of the year, it was like Jokic was like unanimous, like everyone. Oh yeah, third string MVP. But like now, even the players are coming out because here's the thing about Nikola Jokic. His numbers are off the charts. Like he's an offensive like juggernaut by himself. But players know that Nikola Jokic, my brother in Christ, your defense is extremely suspect.
mm-hmm.
And Joel Embiid tends to play both sides of the ball, and that's I think where like the disconnect happens, where Jokic is so great on an offensive end, like it's literally like absurd at the pace he plays, and like he's literally unstoppable. But if you spam pick and roll with him, it is barbecue chicken. We've seen this with Mr. LeBron James and Anthony Davis this
Dwight
year.
Howard.
Right. But we've seen it this year alone. So it's and that's why like a lot of people think, hey man, if the Nuggets get the wrong matchup in the first round, i.e. the Lakers or the Clippers or whoever, right? Like the Suns, they can get beat,
Warriors.
On the road, listen, we're gonna talk about them. But the thing is, it's just no one fears, and I hate this conversation, the whole fear LeBron, whatever. This is stupid, but no one fears Denver, and it's like they can be gotten. I feel like, in a sense, like because again they're they're not good defensively. And listen, Michael Porter Jr. is not good on the defensive end. You know, Jamal Murray's undersized. KCP and Eric Gordon are the two like legit defenders that they have. And again,
Then the bench is like non-existent.
right. So yeah. So we'll get to the West, but yeah, Eric, I do like that. Good take on Philly going to the getting the 2 seed. I just feel as if Boston is going to try to fight so much for that 1 seed that they'll just accumulate enough wins to get that 2 seed locked in. But the Sixers are hot, and especially if they get the 2 seed. I mean, I got Embiid for MVP anyway, but like if they get the 2 seed, I think Embiid is a lock.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get to the West. So I'll talk about that.
Also,
I'll talk about what I think.
Also, for 4, I think the Cavaliers got that on lock. For 5, I believe the Knicks are going to hold on to that spot. I think the race between 6 and 7 is going to go down to the Heat. I just think that they're desperately trying to get out of that play-in, and they need wins. So tonight is a big game for them against the Knicks. So they have a 10-point lead right now. So let's see if the Knicks can come back. And then the play-in tournament, I think, is starting to really solidify itself. I think the Nets going to finish at 7. I think I like the Raptors to finish at 8th, 9 the Hawks, and 10 the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls have been playing well. They won a wild game the other night at Philly. And they've been playing really well since Pat Bev got there. So, and they got big games coming up. So they got 2 games against the Lakers back to back.
Salute Pat Bev, man. Salute Pat Bev.
No, we're not saluting Pat Bev.
Chicago's own. Salute Pat Bev.
and
all Pat Bev is doing is talking about the Lakers right now. Like, come on, give it up, bro. Like,
and also they're starting to separate themselves from the Pacers and the Wizards as the last playing spot. So I see the Bulls getting that one of those spots. So yeah, so that's where I look at the entire playoffs for the East. So I like the Raptors finishing at 8th, the Hawks finishing at 9th, and the Bulls finishing at 10th.
Yeah, I think. With Pat Bev, I think Pat Bev has been an upgrade for the Bulls, considering that they needed some type of guard play. I was very confused at the Bulls by not making any moves to replace Lonzo, knowing that like they had this like false hope that Lonzo was coming back this season. I was like, you needed some insurance, and they didn't do that, and that clearly affected them throughout the year. So adding Pat Bev is a plus for them, but I don't think they even get out the play-in. I don't know. Like, it's just Chicago. It depends on the matchup. Like, the thing is, Vooch really has an issue sometimes against other bigs. So if they're matching up against the Hawks in that first playing game,
I don't think he'll be able to contain Capella.
Right.
Constantly rolling to the rim. I don't think he can't guard that.
Right, and then you're gonna have to match up Pat Bev on Trae Young, and then you're gonna have to match up Zach LaVine probably on DeJounte Murray, and Zach LaVine's not a good defender either. So we'll see how that fans out. I honestly think it's a toss-up, but I'm gonna lean a little bit more towards Atlanta and that matchup.
Only thing with that situation, I don't think DeJounte has a bag like that to like. Get the edge, get the offensive edge on somebody like Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I mean? and that's why I say it's a toss-up, because I'm going to backtrack my statement on the Bulls. I do think they can make it out the play, but like this is what the Hawks traded for. Like if we seen last year when Trae Young was locked up by Miami, like he was locked up.
Yeah,
they didn't have another guy to go to.
Had him in jail.
So this is the opportunity now when that, because that will happen. Teams are going to overload on Trae Young, and DeJounte's going to have to win some games for them. So we'll see. I am more confident in DeMar DeRozan because remember last year Zach wasn't there, and DeRozan kind of he had to carry that. And plus, on top of that, you're playing against the Bucks, so there was no chance that we're going to win that series. But we'll see. We'll see. Josh, you as a Net fan, sir. Your Nets are sitting at the 6th seed. You have a agenda. If it was up to you, you would wish the Nets actually don't make in the playoffs or play in. You'd rather them tank.
Yeah, that's the only way we could get talent. Yeah. We're not the Lakers. We can't just keep signing guys and keep getting lucky. Like
I thought that was Brooklyn.
Listen, bro. Huh?
I thought that was what?
Listen, it's gonna take us time to get another star, but in the meantime, I don't want to just stay here with Dinwiddie, bro. Like, come on, man. But realistically, because I know how this always goes. This always goes like this. I do agree with you, Eric, on the Sixers possibly finishing at the 2nd seed, because I actually had the Sixers before the season competing for the 1 seed because I knew they was gonna be a good regular season team. I just didn't know it was gonna take them this long to start clicking. But I agree with you for the first 3, and the Cavs, Knicks at 5. I do think Miami will eventually jump the Nets. The Nets do have an easy schedule compared to a lot of other teams, but Miami is one of those teams that this happens every year. We always be like, we don't care about Miami. Then all of a sudden they on a 10-game winning streak and they sitting comfortable. So I'm going with the history over a team that I don't really know, which is my team, unfortunately. And then the Hawks are 2 games away in the standings from the Nets. And if the Nets are the 7th seed and the Hawks are the 8th going into the play-in, and that's the matchup, right? 7 and 8 in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
So 7 and 8, and I
seven,
think it's all
8,
7 and 8, 9 and 10.
7 plays 8, 9 plays 10.
I honestly think the Hawks will beat the Nets in the play-in. If it's a 7-8, if that's the 7-8 matchup, the Hawks will beat them. And then if the Bulls are in that and they get out of that next matchup, that's a tough game too. So I could see a situation where the last 2 teams in the playoffs in the East are the Bulls and the Hawks instead of the Nets. Unfortunately, not me trying to be biased on what I want, but I could see that happening because, like you said, the star power. If we talking about star, Mikal has been great, and Nick Claxton has been great, but we talking about Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, people who've been there before. You know what I'm saying? Especially that Hawks team without DeJounte, but they've been there before. They know what it's like to have the bright lights on them. Trae know what he got to do. He the star. The same thing. The same thing with the Bulls. The Bulls got star power. I could see it happening. I'm a Scorn fan. I know what's gonna happen. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Then we can draft a good star, Harry-O.
Well, the Nets. So coming up, they don't play today, but they do play tomorrow.
You got the Cavs again. I know
they're playing against the Cavs. And that's probably a loss, right?
At the Heat later.
Then they're at the Heat. That's probably another loss. The Magic ain't no pushover.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Magic are 3 out, I believe, into getting in to the playing scenario.
Yeah, they're 5 games back.
5 out, 5 games out.
Mm-hmm.
So and it looks like
they've been scrapping hard the past couple of games too.
Right. Then you guys have the Rockets, which I think y'all should win that game, but again, you never know. I'm sorry, Hal. If you trust in Dinwiddie, then brother, I am praying for you. And then you guys have the Hawks, Jazz,
who are playing for a good team. T-Wolves is playing for something. This is
and
not.
They just got Cat back too.
Cat is back, and by that time,
Ant is gonna be back by then.
Yeah, Ant-Man will be back by then. And then after that, you finish your last 3 at Pistons, against the Magic again, and then final game at the Sixers. So yeah, I can definitely see the Nets falling, depending on how these things go.
Yeah.
And the Heat definitely.
That'll just be better for us, Ariel. Don't worry.
But yeah, I like the takes. I'm really intrigued now. Philly getting that 2 seed. They're only 2 games behind Boston. They're tied in the loss column right now with 23 losses. So yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. And Boston's schedule isn't as favorable. I mean, they've been struggling, but I mean, they had a big win last night against the Kings.
And they play the Sixers one more time.
They not only that, they play the Bucks one more time as well in Milwaukee.
Right.
So that's going to be a tough game. Like I would say, they have a tough stretch of 3 games where they're at Milwaukee, then playing at home against Utah, and then at the Sixers, and then 2 games against the Raptors. So, and then they got the Hawks. So like all teams that have to play for some type of playoff implication, they're going to face some competition. So no team's going to lay down for them. But yeah, I like it. I like where it's going. The East is definitely going to be a very competitive feat towards the end of the season. Ultimately, I think the Bucks come out the East though. Ultimately, that's just me. But now,
shout out Brooke Lopez.
Shout out Brooke Lopez. Now let's go to the Western Conference. Oh Lord,
it's tough.
Everybody's stacked on each other, man. Yo. It's like an apartment building.
Yeah. The Western Conference is pretty wild. Literally from seeds 4 to 11, actually 4 to 12, separate by 3 games.
By like 3 games, yeah.
Yeah, it's by 3 games. So like, if the Pelicans, Lakers, Jazz go on a win streak, and the Suns, Clippers, and Warriors go on a losing streak, that'll literally flip, like literally. So it's pretty wild to think of. So far, the only team in the Western Conference has clinched a playoff spot is the Denver Nuggets, sitting at 48-24. I think they end up as the number 1 seed ultimately. The Grizzlies are 3.5 back. With Ja Morant coming back and with Denver struggling, maybe. Sacramento, I think Sacramento likes to stay at 3. I know they're trying to get 2, but I think with Ja coming back, I just think the lock for 1 and 2 is going to be either Memphis or Denver. 3 seed, I think, is going to be locked in. Here's an interesting scenario here. I think Phoenix might drop
to 5
because if either 5 or 6, because if Phoenix is matched up, I mean now
with
all right.
Sacramento.
I would say this, considering Paul George's injury, I think now it's more favorable for Phoenix to say, you know what, maybe we just stay at 4 because PG's out for the rest of the regular season. And he'll come back. He'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. 3 weeks is in the playoff start, or at least that's when the playing
starts. Yeah,
right. The playing will start. He's going to reevaluate it. Then he has to come back and play. We don't know when that's going to happen. Phoenix can say, you know what, this is a gettable series without Paul George, or Paul George maybe missing game 1 of the series, right? So, I think Phoenix likes that matchup, but also I think Phoenix can also see the matchup against the Kings and like that matchup too.
But what I'll say though, and I know we talked about this in our group chat. We were just like, who was the team to check out for, in the second half of the season? I know Ernest, you had the Suns, and obviously because KD joined the Suns, so we wanted to see what that field would look like. And I had picked the Sacramento Queens. I know it's kind of crazy being a Laker fan and stuff like that. What's going on with them Knicks, man?
Wow, shit.
We got a 1-point game. Knicks got the lead, 98-97.
How much time left?
9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
That's an eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying it like it's crunch time. But anyway,
Listen, it's gonna be another close game against
is
these two
Julius Randle going
teams.
to hit a game
Listen,
winner again?
He got teed up.
Um,
Like,
but
Julius Randle run around like
the
he's
Sacramento
Pop.
Queens is not a.
What?
I'm sorry.
What? No. What you said? What you said?
Julius Randle been running around like he Pop, man, ever since he had that
Hey,
57-point outburst. Like,
No, he's
bro,
been like
chill.
that. No, he's been like that for the last 3 years. So ain't nothing
Yeah. But I've been saying like the Sacramento Queens is not no pushover, man, and I think they definitely.
I wouldn't say they're not a pushover, but I'm not buying stock into them in the playoffs.
No, of course not.
I gotta see it to believe it first.
Of course not. But I would say just like the basketball they've been playing, like for this entire season, like me personally, I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, they beat the Suns. Like, it'll be like, okay, because like watching their games, like De'Aaron Fox has been like really, really huge this year, especially in the crunch time as well too. And I feel like, and they're able to operate in like that half court offense. Same thing with Sabonis. Now his defense is suspect, so yes, like he will get killed by like DeAndre Ayton. I know DeAndre Ayton is battling with an injury right now, but he will get killed by him. Now, just the supporting cast of the Sacramento Kings, like there's like some scrappy dudes. For a team like the Phoenix Suns, thinking that it's gonna come in and just be a cakewalk because of the name.
No, I don't. So here's the thing. I'm not saying it's gonna be a cakewalk because there are certainly questions around Mr. C-Pre 3.
Oh yeah, it's
like
Christopher.
He breaks down every playoffs.
Christopher Emmanuel Paul.
Right. So like he turns into Cliff Paul sometimes. So the thing is, the two biggest factors for Phoenix, in my opinion, I'm not worried about Booker. I'm not worried about KD.
DeAndre Ayton.
I'm worried about Ayton because Ayton now.
And even their bench, throw their bench in there.
Exactly. That's what I was about to go.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all think campaign
and Josh Okogie, come on now.
Like I don't like the thing is
some more respect on Terrence Ross. What y'all talking about?
Stop.
Oh gosh.
Stop. We're not doing that.
Former Magic him.
The thing is, like,
play my son TJ Warren.
TJ Warren.
KD,
no.
KD and Book are gonna have to play major minutes, and they're gonna have to put on like not generational performances, but they're gonna have to like carry. And I believe that they can, but like again, in comparison to Sacramento or the Clippers, pending that Paul George, because as much as I hate to say it, the Clippers are healthy. The Clippers are making some noise in the playoffs. But with the Suns and Sacramento, I think I just can't buy stock in Sacramento. They remind me of just a great regular season team, and I could be wrong, and I will be fine.
That's fair.
Being wrong on that.
I think that's fair.
So
what's up, Eric?
So I'm looking at the West standings. The 6th seed right now is the Warriors. The team right behind them, the Oklahoma City Thunder. If I'm the Kings, I'm gonna stay at 3 and root for the Thunder to finish 6th.
To jump.
And they can
because here's the thing. Do you trust the Warriors to win on the road?
Right.
No,
they
are
terrible.
8 wins all year long. 8 wins.
Yeah, they're 8-29 on the road.
Yeah, and right now they're trailing the Mavericks by 1 in the third. No, they're up by 5. No, they're up by 5 at Dallas. So,
well, I need Dallas.
Yeah,
I need to, for Lakers' sake, I need Dallas to win because we hold the tiebreaker against the Warriors. So,
so, well, also I like the Thunder to finish in the top 6.
Honestly, the Thunder can finish in top 5. You know why?
Yeah, exactly.
I think this Paul George injury is huge, and the Clippers have been playing very inconsistent
since they got rust.
Tomorrow, and they're playing tomorrow.
Yes. In their last 10, they're at 500 and 5-5 in their last 10. And the Clippers, their schedule isn't a cakewalk either. So the Clippers have the Thunder again without Paul George tomorrow, as you said. Oh, Austin Reeves is starting. Hallelujah. Anyway, then they have the Pelicans. Then they have the Bulls. Then they got the Grizzlies twice, back to literally like a back-to-back home game in Memphis, basically. Then they got the Pelicans again. Then they got the Lakers, Blazers, and then Suns. Out of this stretch, out of the next 10 games, Thunder, Bulls, Grizzlies twice, Lakers and Suns. Those 6 games out of that 10 are going to be like against teams that are still fighting for playoff seeding.
That's the Clippers schedule.
Yes.
Hmm.
There could be a scenario where they drop into the play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Without Paul George. Russ is going to have to play. See, the thing is, like, Russ has been playing like extremely well. Now, I don't know if you increase his role, does that mess up everything else, or do you? Because I think I think now you have to insert man into the starting lineup. So, like, what does that do for the bench unit now? I don't know. Like, it's going to be fascinating to see where the Clippers end up.
Embiid did not come back out after halftime.
Oh, that's not good.
Paul Reed started instead of Embiid.
That is not good. Hopefully we get an update. That is not good. So the Clippers have some soul searching to do very soon. And yes, I do agree. The Clippers will probably break up the team. I think so. I think, you know, it's now what, year 5 going into this experiment. LA our way, and you have no chips to show for it. So yeah, you know that franchise could hold that L. Move out the arena, please.
What question is this on paper? Is because remember I went on my little rant a couple episodes ago about like what more do the Clippers need? Is this the best Clipper team like on paper, like the roster?
No, their best team was 2018 year.
Okay,
that's not their best team.
Okay.
I think the 2018 year where they had Kawhi fresh off the chip, Paul
2019,
George.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, sorry, I'm
Pat
thinking.
Bev, Trez.
Yeah, that Lou Will, like that.
JaMychal Green. Okay.
That team was
that team that should have made the conference finals, but blew that league against the Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
Yeah, that team. Yeah, that team.
Yeah.
The same year the Lakers won the championship. Yeah, that team. So yeah, the Clippers have some soul searching to do. Next, Golden State. Oh my God.
Just horrible on the road.
At first I thought like, oh, you know, it's just championship like hangover.
Curry dropped 50 and then he still lost.
He was a -10 and he dropped 50. Think about that.
Like every time he went out the game, the Clippers went on a run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Josh.
I ain't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
I even though it reminded me of
Kobe. Stop it. Stop it, please.
It reminded me of him, but it was like, nah.
It wasn't the same. It didn't have the
same.
It
wasn't the same effect.
With Kobe, you didn't know who he was talking to. Like the camera, and I don't think to this day I still found out that who Kobe was talking to.
He shook his head. He shook his head like, you know.
You know, right? And then it was funny.
Yeah. And Kobe was hurt at that. Yeah. He was hurt. Clay, you were playing, getting your ass kicked, bro.
Yeah. The trainer behind him, like, seen it and already knew what was going on. With Clay, it's like, yo,
Steph was just sitting there like, not.
Steph was like, yo, I'm tired of this, bro. Like,
they said, how is Robin talking more than Batman?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Batman don't talk at all. He
crazy.
Don't talk like so. I just think the Warriors has been like just very. I don't know. They suck. They suck on the road, and then in those playoff games, like you got to win on the road, like you know.
Listen, the Warriors are 4-6 in the last 10.
I think
it's not looking good for them.
I think what it is though is that they rely on so much of their athleticism that a lot of the guys that they had on their team in the past, like they're either not there anymore or they're old. So like Wiggins Wiggins was a huge part of their championship last year.
He is severely missed by them right now.
He's currently dealing with a situation. I hope what he's going through, I hope it gets better because like that is insane.
Word.
That's crazy, man.
And you know what? And on top of that, it's none of our business to even speculate if that is even true.
Yeah,
and I'm not even gonna like put any light on like what I thought it was or heard it was, or we just hope whatever he's going through personally that he gets back from it, he bounces back, and he's back with the team. He's back in a comfortable situation.
And then also with the Josh, you gonna say something real quick?
Just the Wiggins thing. This was happening before he got hurt, so I don't want to.
Oh man, here you go.
And no, I'm saying like them just losing on the road. It was just like.
Yeah, no, of course, and I think they're really starting to feel it now. But then back to my point, like they don't have a backup big. Their backup big is JaMychal Green. Looney can only do so much, and then like the rest of the other guys that they have is not really they're not really experienced, you know. So you got like guys like Moses Moody, Lamb. They're not really like versatile, you know. And then Draymond can only do so much at this age. Iggy Dollar's on the bench. Matter of fact, I think he just hurt his arm. So it's like
on some old guys.
Yeah, so it's just like a lot of the depth that they had in the past. Remember, Sean Livingston was a huge part to their championship because he was David West, because Sean Livingston was a big guard. He was 6'6", 6'7". So even if your center wasn't getting those boards, he was a lanky, long-armed dude. So he was able to grab those boards and stuff for you. Kevon Looney can't like you know what I'm saying? Like he can't be the only one like hitting the glass and stuff like that. You know, he can't be the only one playing defense. And then everybody else is just there, just you know. But I think that's what the big situation is with the Golden State Warriors, and they're trying to like you know keep that lightning in the bottle. But I think it's over. But I mean, of course, you can't downplay like the championship pedigree and stuff like that. You know, so like they'll click. I believe that they'll click and they'll get it together. But I obviously, if repeating wasn't the question, I don't see it happening.
Everything caught up to them.
Yeah, exactly. Everything caught up to them.
Like other than Steph still plays amazing and everything.
Yo, he's 30. Well, he's 30. 35. He's 35. That means couple more years in the league.
Damn, that's crazy.
Nah, because he don't got the LeBron secret.
That's none of your business. That's none of your business,
bro. I love it though.
LeBron is playing until he's 45.
Just share the recipe. That's all. That's my only problem. Share the recipe, bro.
No. For what? For what?
But
it's over.
My thing with the Warriors, I heard this for so many teams that we're supposed to be championship contenders this year. I heard it about the Lakers, no wings. I heard about the Nets, no wings. I heard about all these other teams, but they're afraid to say about the Warriors. Who are their rings after Wiggins?
Yeah.
Wiggins, Clay, and then who?
People really anointed. I had a problem with this. People anointed Jonathan Kuminga as the next Kawhi, and I was like, hold up. And I was like.
Let the kid play. Let the kid play. Let's see what he got.
As soon as they let GP the third go, and they let Otto Porter Jr. go, I was like, yo, like they're going to
forget about that. He was important last year for them.
Right. I was like, they're going to struggle because now you're putting the onus on Moody, Wiseman, and Kuminga to
and even Damian Lee too.
Right. And he's in Phoenix now. You put that much pressure on the young guys to carry them throughout the season and like to get that experience into the playoffs and fill that void. I mean, they're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. They wound up trading Wiseman away.
2 pick for 5 seconds.
Yeah, for Gary Payton.
If that's any other franchise, people will be going crazy. Y'all failures. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all stupid. But the Warriors, no, it's nothing.
Yeah. Actually, on that point, I'm surprised that honestly, that was kind of like.
Listen, if that was Rob Pelinka, it'd be like Rob Pelinka don't know. He's a terrible GM.
We'll
Shitty about to sell the team. All this other crap.
Crypto right now, but I feel like that, even though like that was kind of like a low key trade, I feel like that trade got no media attention. Like the fact that you give a 5 second-round draft picks at that point, 3 of those draft picks is equivalent to 1 to a first round,
and then they flip those picks to get an injured Gary Payton. He can't even play.
Remember they had a whole physical situation with the whole
Yeah.
Portland trade.
Oh
Crazy,
my
bro.
It's just the whole thing with the Warriors. Yes, they've been great for the last couple years, but this year's been a disaster. It's okay to admit it. Like, guys, we don't got to keep coddling them. It's over.
But also too, like, it was an issue because not only with the signings and all season and who they lost, but like the Draymond situation, like that has an effect. As much as they want to downplay it, it has an effect on the locker room. So,
yeah, he does. It did.
Yeah, it did. Definitely.
Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr and they won the next year.
It's Michael Jordan.
No, I'm saying, but I mean, like that had a positive effect.
Michael can't do no wrong in no one's eyes. Chill.
I mean, I'm just saying that situation had a positive effect, even though it was still wrong.
Bro, it was Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr was like, you know what? Kerr. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It was Steve
He probably was like that after practice, you know what I'm saying?
Next, Dallas. Kyrie Irving left the arena with a walking boot.
Oh, no, I don't love that. I didn't know you was going there.
Wait, say it again.
Kyrie Irving the other night after the Memphis game left the arena with a walking boot. So I don't know if he's going to be out
on his ankle.
Dylan Brooks. He's a war. He's a.
Yo, you know what was so funny? So they exchanged jerseys. Kyrie gave Dylan Brooks his jersey, and he didn't take. Wait, so Kyrie gave Dylan Brooks his jersey, but Kyrie did not take Dylan Brooks' jersey.
But Kyrie said like he wasn't really thinking. I'm like, all right, bro, that's cat. Like, yeah, y'all doing the jersey exchange.
Oh, but when I say he's a liar, when I say he's a liar, I'm crazy. I don't know, man.
Nah, bro.
Leave my Aussie brother alone, man.
He didn't want that. He didn't want that jersey, man. Come on now,
man. So Dallas right now, they're 4-6 in their last 10. They are in a dogfight with the Warriors right now.
3-7 in actuality.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to talk about that. And looks like Kyrie Irving is out. Luka is back though, so that is a help for them. But man, Dallas, I think they stay in the play-in. Whether it's 7 or 9 or 10, that remains to be seen. But I think Dallas just stays in the play-in, and they don't go too far either. I think again, like trading away Dinwiddie and Finney Smith, and you kind of lose some of that depth and that defensive prowess that they had, and it's straight like offense, and I just don't think it's enough. So I think they just stay there in the play-in, and we'll see the outcome. 9 and 10, you got the T-Wolves and Jazz. Now, the T-Wolves, I think, actually may climb up to 8th, considering Cat is coming back, Ant-Man's coming back. I think, Jaden McDaniels is like, we got a glimpse of, whoa, okay, like maybe in that Knick game, it was like, oh, he has something there.
And Taurean Prince.
Yeah, Taurean Prince.
Looking like Ray Allen.
That's a one-off. That's a one-off.
Yeah, like Ray Allen for the three-point line.
I think it was a one-off. And I think the T-Wolves. I think the T-Wolves will remain in the play-in, but like I think I can see them as moving up and Dallas moving down. Utah one day want to tank, and the next day they don't. They're 5-5 in their last 10. I think ultimately they wind up falling out of the play-in and playoffs entirely. I think they don't make it because I think the Lakers do wind up getting in to replace them. So, and that's Utah. And then we go to the Lakers. Lakers and Pelicans right now are tied at 35 wins and 37 losses. Lakers are 6-4 in their last 10. Pelicans are 5-5 in their last 10. Zion is set to be reevaluated in another 2 weeks, which is the end of the season.
For the rest of the season.
Honestly, that's concerning.
Very.
And let me ask y'all a question: is it too quick to pull the plug? Like, what's up?
Honestly, bro.
That's a yo. I don't.
What?
They missed their chance. They could have had KD
mean-
for him. They missed their chance.
So I heard this
Now
stat.
they got to settle for
I heard-
RJ Barrett and picks. Yo, I mean, it's great for you. That's great for you, Eric, but not for them.
So I heard a stat about Zion earlier today, said that he played 114 out of a possible 295 games.
That's insane, bro.
That's insane.
That's like Greg Oden like.
His life changed after he bust through PG shoes, bro.
Yeah.
Like
pretty crazy.
I that is concerning because it's a lot of soft tissue. It's not like a lot of like
Yeah, it's not like all right, like you broke something, like a bone. Or it's like soft tissue injury, and like it's like ligament issues. That's not good. It's not good.
I would really have a hard conversation if I was the GM. I would have a hard conversation with my staff and myself about what do we do, because the same thing like what's going on in New Orleans it's too much injury history there. Yeah. Zion's not playing, or Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what's up with that.
They haven't played. They haven't played much together.
Yeah.
Because that team is gonna get real expensive real fast. Especially if Trey Murphy's still playing how he playing Herb Jones. Yeah. These contracts, these extensions are gonna start costing. So you got to figure out that right now.
Yeah. No, good point.
And they gave Zion the extension.
Yeah, a 4-year max. Lastly, before we log off, the Los Angeles Lakers, who like to stress me out.
And Austin Reeves we trust.
Anthony Davis not playing back-to-backs, but he is playing back-to-backs. But the plan is he's still going to not play back. I don't know what they're doing.
So here's how I feel about that. I feel like and
this is not Anthony Davis' fault. I'm not.
No. As an organization, right? You know how your fan base is. Why would you come out and say something like that in this position that we're in? Why are you saying that AD will play back-to-backs down the line when you know the position? Well, duh. Darvin Ham. It's kind of giving me this.
Here's the thing. Like Houston was literally trying to give the game away. Mm-hmm. And you mean to tell me AD couldn't play like 20 minutes?
Right.
25
Even if
minutes?
you had him on a minute restriction.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like 5 minutes a quarter type, whatever.
It's starting to give me the they did a meme, a Magic Johnson meme where he would like state the obvious, like Darvin Ham came out and said that he's going to try to have lineups where either D'Lo or AD is on the floor. Duh. What? Every team that has 2 or 3 stars on their team plays the game like that, just so you can have some sort of like point person on the floor, so you know what to do at all times. So that way you don't run these lineups where Dennis Schroeder out there. You're expecting Dennis Schroeder to score the ball. Like in those situations, it's like, as an organization, why do you come out and say things like that in this point of time where it ends? Like, I think if you know that, just keep that to yourself. Like, that just added insult to injury, added more stress for the fans and stuff like that. But what's the Lakers franchise without drama?
But you know what's pissing me off the most is that we're literally relying on other teams to lose to help us. It's insane to me. It's like, yo, take care of business and stop worrying about maybe the Clippers will beat Thunder and then that'll help us, and maybe the Jazz will lose and this. Bro, we have games to win. There's no more room. LeBron is supposed to be reevaluated, I believe. If not, well, we're heading into Thursday, so I'm assuming it's not this weekend, definitely next week, and we'll get a timeline when he's returning. And Darvin Ham stated yesterday that he anticipates LeBron to come back this season, which means they still think that there's a chance for them to make the playoffs.
And then also on top of that, just the rest of the teams around the league wants to see the Lakers down. So it's like, even though they're playing whatever team, they're still kind of playing us. Like, they still want to keep us down in the same vein as well too. So we shouldn't be relying on stuff like that. Like, their game against the Magic, come on. I understand the Magic's been playing a little bit better in the past couple of games, but it should be no reason why it's coming down to the wire. It should be no reason why we lost that game against Dallas. It should be no reason why we lost that game against Houston the other night. And especially like going to the game live in New Orleans and seeing them smoke the Pelicans by 40. And they came back and end up, I think, like within 13. And then everybody's playing high quality basketball. Everybody's hitting threes. The bench is having fun and stuff like that. And then you turn around and then we lose to the Houston Rockets, literally the worst team in the league. Like
Yeah.
that's a really bad feeling. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
Ultimately, though, I think the Lakers do make it in. I think LeBron does come back, and we make a push. Now, I don't know where that ends up. You know, the Lakers play tonight. Actually, they play in about 10 minutes. They have the Suns, and then they have the Thunder. That's on Friday, and that's a very, very, very important game.
And Shai is back,
and Shai is back, and LeBron won't be back. So that is a game that they have to win. And then after they have the Bulls twice at a home back to back type of thing. Then they're at the T-Wolves. So again, like Thunder,
it's a hard schedule.
That's you know what I'm saying.
Hold on. If I'm reading this correctly, Joel Embiid's score differential won't return. What is that?
Refund my money. Oh my God, FanDuel. I'm done, man.
What is that?
Yo.
I don't know. And then to finish off, the Lakers have the Rockets, then the Jazz, Clippers, Suns, and then Jazz again. So at the very least, the Lakers must beat the Jazz twice. They must beat the Clippers, and they must beat the T-Wolves and Thunder. If they do that, I think that helps them to get into the play-in at the very least. But
gotta sneak that win against the Suns too.
Yeah, they got to get this one tonight, for sure. But like I said, I think they'll make the playoffs. But man, it's getting dark. I just put it that way. It's getting dark. So, man.
So wait, and Joel Embiid's out because the Sixers are winning too big. You have too big of a lead. Good Lord.
What is that?
Never heard of that.
Scoring.
What is that?
Come on, man.
These new age stars, man.
Yeah. But needless to say, guys, it has been a great episode. Buckle up. It's about to be a crazy 2 weeks.
Oh boy!
Before the playoffs start, it's going to be insane, and we're gonna get a lot of surprises. I even think some of the predictions that we talked about today probably won't even happen. There'll probably be some other stuff that'll go way left that we haven't predicted or foreseen. So, but until then, enjoy the rest of the NBA season. It is going to be a wild, wild one. And peace and love and be safe.
Peace.